The Council of Nicea had absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the development of the biblical canon. Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion, and today's fit is the Todd Father Spider-Man. Now, the Council of Nicea was convened in 325 CE by the Roman Emperor Constantine, and the goal was to try to achieve some unity among some of the warring factions. And the main issue they were there to address was what was called the Arian controversy, and this had to do with a presbyter from Alexandria named Arius, who had been sharing some ideas about Jesus' relationship with God that were the consensus view in earlier centuries, but were becoming outdated. And the main one was the idea that Jesus was subordinate to and inferior to God. Now, this is something that everybody recognized previously, but with developing philosophical ideologies, this became unpalatable. And Arius also developed this idea that because Jesus was a created being, there was a time when he did not exist. The council also addressed a new method for determining the date of Easter that would make it so people could figure out when Easter was going to be on their own, rather than waiting for a festal letter from some central authority. And this would also decouple it from the determination of the date of the Passover within Judaism. And then there were what they called canon laws. And canon here doesn't refer to the biblical canon, but to the administration of the church. So you had a bunch of ecclesiastical laws and rules about ordination and reordination and excommunication and things like that. The biblical canon was not discussed at the Council of Nicea. I think the seeds for this misinformation were planted by a text that was written in the 9th century CE that was called the Synodicon Vetus, and this was a collection of stories about the ecumenical councils and the synods of early Christianity. And in describing Nicaea, they tell this story about how they put all the books of the scriptures on a table, and then miraculously God caused all the books that were called apocryphal to fall to the ground, leaving only the canonical books on the table. And then this story was later taken up by Voltaire and others, and then Dan Brown put it in his book, The Da Vinci Code, which spread that misinformation far and wide.